Hello friends, hope you're well. In this video I want to talk about one of the biggest things that is holding a lot of people back when starting their home healthcare business, which is being afraid to take losses. You have to be comfortable with taking losses because you're going to take a lot of losses. A lot. But it's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. Let me explain to you why it's not a bad thing. See, in school, if you failed in a subject or if you took a loss in anything, that was looked down on. Your teacher would breathe down your neck and say, hey, listen, I'm going to tell your mom, I'm going to tell your daddy that you are not doing well in school, so you're going to improve these grades. Failing is not an option. Failing is not a good thing. So we're brainwashed or conditioned, rather, to focus on not failing. Oh my God, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. So a lot of you, from the time you started school to even now at your big age, you still have that mindset of, oh my God, I can't fail. What are my friends gonna think? What is my mom gonna think about this failure? But I'm telling you right now, the more losses you take, the better you become. Because now you know what not to do. The trick though that I like, that works for me, is to create what I call stop losses. A stop loss is just a concept coined by traders. You know, these guys who do online trading, stock trading. A stop loss is basically where you create a condition. You take a trade, then you create a condition to say, if I don't make this amount of money after risking this amount of money, then I'm going to cut off this trade. So I'm willing to only lose $3,000 on this trade. Now, if all goes well and I risk this $3,000 and I come out on top, then well and good. It's kind of like gambling, but not really. Let me explain to you why it's not gambling. Because for most traders, what they do is they do an analysis, which is why you see like those charts. You know, because I used to trade currencies back in the day. And now I'm back into crypto. I do crypto. But back in the days when I learned how to trade, that skill really helped me even when I was starting businesses that kept on failing. Because what I'll do is I'll maybe risk $1,000 here, $500 here. But now, there certain business ideas, I'm putting in 10 grand, easy, without even thinking about it. I'm betting 10 grand or something like that. But it starts with these little risks you gotta take, right? So by the time you're getting comfortable risking 10 grand, it means that you've tested that risk tolerance at like $1,000, $500 first. Now, a lot of you guys are not even willing to risk even $1,000 for your dream. What makes you think that you can compete with somebody that is putting 10 grand on the line like me? You can't compete. There's no way. What I'm telling you to do is not to take risks that you're not comfortable with. But I'm telling you right now, your comfort zone also is going to hold you back too. You think that all those thousands of dollars that I lost when I was taking chances and risks over the years is something I was comfortable with? Absolutely not. I was never comfortable losing $1,000, especially in the days where I could barely make my rent. There were days where I was so far behind on my rent, and I knew, okay, I'm gonna take this risk. My rent was, let's say, $1,500, and I needed to take a risk that was $1,500. I'll be like, okay, cool. If I'm late on my rent by 2 weeks, I'm gonna get paid in 2 weeks. So I'm gonna cover my rent with the next check that's coming out in 2 weeks. But I'll take that what? I'll take the late fee. But I gotta take that gamble. I gotta take that risk. Listen, I'm not telling you to do what I did. That's what I'm trying to say. No. What I'm saying is that that's what it takes, guys. That's what it takes. Taking losses early when the amounts are small, so that by the time the big opportunity comes, you're more confident going all in, all money in. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys will never get the taste of that. The reason why you'll never get a taste of what it feels like to be at this level where you can confidently bet on yourself 100% is because you haven't practiced betting on yourself like that. You haven't. What's going to happen, and this is speaking as somebody who's done this for a long time, what's going to happen to you is you're going to look back by the time you get into your 40s, mid-40s, maybe 50, you're going to look back and be like, man, 10 years ago I was younger, I had more energy, I didn't have all these responsibilities that I have now, all these liabilities that I have now, all these headaches that I have now. I could afford to eat noodles for like a month, but why didn't I do that? There's nothing worse, guys, than regret. I'd rather lose money before I regret anything in my future. Because I know for sure the younger version of me, the 21-year-old version of me, the 30-year-old version of me, took chances and took risks in order for me to be here. So just imagine yourself, wherever you are in life right now. Imagine if the younger version of you did not take the chances that they took. You really got to look at those people as separate. What is the younger version going to think about you now? They're going to think you're a loser if you don't live up their expectations, because they expected big things out of you. Why would you want to disappoint the younger version of you? There's an exercise that my brother taught me. I was hanging with my brother, and on his phone, he had a picture of his, I think, 10-year-old version of himself. I saw it on the screensaver. I'm like, that's weird. Why would you have a picture of your 10-year-old version of yourself? And he told me he has a therapist that told him to connect with this younger version of himself in order for him to be authentic to himself. Because what happens as we get older and older, we get detached from our true selves sometimes. At your job, you have to be fake. You have to conform to certain things in society or in your job, right? You have to conform. And what does conforming mean? Conforming means that you have to be fake. And being fake is exhausting, guys. It's exhausting. If you try to be fake for longer than 5 minutes, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's why I like to be in complete isolation nowadays, because that way I don't have to be like faking around. I like a simple life of luxury and comfort and solitude is how I live nowadays. Where I don't have to be faking around on anybody. I can be true to myself and authentic with myself. And what that does is it attracts the people that want to be authentic as well, naturally. So that's the little trick that I learned from my brother. And my brother learned it from his therapist. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. So I started to do the same thing. I was like, man, I need to start connecting with the younger version of myself. And you know what I learned? I learned a lot. I learned the younger version of myself likes to travel, likes to do things on their own terms. They don't like to listen to bullshit. They like to take chances. They like to take calculated risks. That's essentially what I'm doing now, because I don't want to disappoint that version of myself. Because that version of myself, I remember that version of myself. That version of myself was awesome, man. So many hopes and dreams of the future. All these cool places he wanted to go. All these cool countries he wanted to go. I had to connect with that. And I seriously encourage you guys to try it. You'll be shocked and surprised of what the younger version of you cares about. They're not gonna care about all the BS stuff you're collecting right now. Look in your closet right now. Half the things in your closet right now you haven't worn in years. Or half the things in your house is just stuff you don't need. Can you get rid of that stuff and then focus on leveling up your business? Of course you can. But no, you're stuck. I got some really practical ideas. When you look at the cost of housing is out of control. I was looking at the amount of money people are paying on rent now. It's crazy. It's out of control. Why are you paying $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment? There are practical ways of saving a ton of money, especially if you're a traveling nurse. I know traveling nurses that buy campers, the RVs and campers are not too crazy expensive. I mean, I know these traveling nurses, they buy a camper for like $25,000. So it's like a brand new car. They live out of that. You drive from city to city, making money. So think about it. You spend $25,000 on a camper, and then you're making good money, and you're stacking up that money. And even if you finance that camper, that $25,000 camper, maybe your note will probably be like $1,000 plus insurance for accommodation. And if you're making, let's say, $5,000 or $6,000 a month as a traveling nurse, just imagine the amount of money you're saving there. This is if you are single and you got no kids, by the way. That's the only way to work. But just imagine the amount of money. You can literally be saving like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Within 10 months, you got 50 G's in your account. You can do anything with that. You can level up so much with that kind of cash. But yeah, there's so many practical ideas on how to save money without necessarily borrowing money. But it just requires you to think outside the box. If you're ready to get unstuck and are ready to start thinking outside the box, I say schedule time. Link in the description of this video. Let's talk about how to get unstuck. Also, let's talk about how to start promoting your home care business so that you're able to be financially independent. Some of the excuses that I hear from you guys, it's just that you're stuck in your own way. I can tell. You're stuck and you don't know how to get unstuck. How can I help you get unstuck? Schedule time. Talk to you soon.